my lovely Pokemon fans and Hildren and whoever is watching this video at this moment. Also, hello, I don't know you, what's up? I'm Hilda. Welcome to another Rating All Pokemon with me, Hilda. It's me. Let's go. Last week we ended with Xatu, and today we're starting with Mareep, and Mareep is one of my favorite evolution lines in the Johto, maybe in the Always. I think this is a great evolution line, but let's just start with number 179. Mareep. Mareep is a cute little sheep Pokemon, and it is the most adorable thing I have ever seen in the world of the Pokemon. It looks like a sheep, but it has like a really cool tail with a ball on the end. Mareep is an electric Pokemon, and I really think this is one of my favorite electric Pokemon of all times. I think it's cute. I think it's great. I like having it on my team. I like using the hell out of a Mareep. Sounds disgusting, I'm sorry about that. Mareep is obviously a sheep Pokemon, and it lives in grassy fields just like sheep do. Mareep has wool that continuously grows just like actual sheep, I think. I'm actually not a sheep expert, but I think that is the case with sheep. Mareep can store energy in its wool, and it always rubs together, which creates a static, and touching a Mareep will actually cause a shock. So it may look fluffy and cute, but you might get shocked if you hug it. But it's worth it because it's cute. The name Mareep is an anagram for Ampere, which is a electric current, which I think is kind of cool. They kind of really thought about that, didn't they? Yeah, fucking great. In German, its name is okay, I need to read this real quick. Voltilam, which is a combination of volt, obviously, and lamb. So it's pretty much just called a Volt Lamb in German. I like that. It's pretty easy, but Mareep sounds cuter. 5 out of 5. At level 15, Mareep evolves into Flaaffy. Now, Flaaffy is my least favorite out of this entire evolution line. I'm not sure why. It's like the middle ground of the things. Just not a... It's okay, but I've seen better. So because Flaaffy has stored too much electric energy in its body, most of its fur fell off, and its actual skin shows. And its skin is rubbery as hell, which sounds disgusting, and I didn't actually know that it was a rubbery Pokemon. Sounds kind of gross. A funny thing about Mareep is that it can fire electric hairs at people. That's its attack. That's its electric attack. It fires electric hairs at you. Sounds kind of terrifying, but I like it. Pretty badass. So here's a fun Pokedex entry from Pokemon Silver. Its fluffy fleece easily stores electricity. Its rubbery hide keeps it from being electrocuted. So that is why it has the rubbery skin, so it doesn't electrocute itself. Flaaffy's name comes from fluffy and ba, which is the sound sheep make. I would have liked it if Flaaffy also was an anagram of some type of electric thing, but you know, can't have everything, I suppose. 4 out of 5. Next up is number 181, Ampharos. You may know it from Gym Leader Jasmine, who is in this lighthouse with its sick Ampharos, and it is sad, but you cure it with your magic potion, probably just a potion. I think Ampharos is one of the coolest electric Pokemon. I think it's great. It is super awesome to use in battle, even though I don't know anything about strategic battling. I just like using it in battle. Ampharos has a tail that can light up and act like a beacon. That's why it's often used in lighthouses and places like that, because it can emit such a shiny, bright light that it can be seen from far, far away. And I think that is pretty cool. I like the way it looks. I like its design. It reminds me of like a weird fucking giraffe or something. I don't even know what it is, what it's supposed to be, but it looks cool. Here's a fun Pokedex fact from Ruby and Sapphire. Ampharos gives off so much light that it can be seen even from space. People in the old days used the light of this Pokemon to send signals back and forth with others far away. Also, Ampharos has a mega evolution where it grows crazy awesome hair, and it looks beautiful and majestic and fucking amazing. It's one of the mega Pokemon I like most because it's Ampharos, and it looks really cool when it's mega. Ampharos' name comes from Ampere, which is also one of those electric things I don't really know that much about. What is this? Science? I'm not an electrician, alright? It comes from Ampere and Pharos, and Pharos is Greek for lighthouse. Cool combination. Like it. And that is all. 5 out of 5. Got it. Next up is Bellossom, and Bellossom is one of the two evolutions Gloom can evolve into. First you have Vileplume, then there's Bellossom. Bellossom came in the second gen. That's always something I get confused by. I don't know why, but it's just a weird mechanic that I love but also hate. Gloom evolves into Bellossom when you expose it to a sunstone. I like Bellossom, but I like Vileplume more. I've got to be honest with you. Bellossom is a very happy, chanty, dancey Pokemon. It's a good dancer. It has flowers on its head. I don't know if you remember this, but in the anime there was a lady girl who had 2 Bellossom and they had to dance and one of them couldn't dance that well and it was really sad and they always looked sad, and then I cried a little bit because I was like, come on Bellossom, you can do this. You can do the dance, do the jump, you can do it. I believe. And then in the end, she did it, and it was great. Here's a fun Pokédex fact from Pokemon Sapphire. A Bellossom grows flowers more beautifully if it evolves from a smelly gloom. The stinkier, the better. At night, this Pokemon closes its petals and goes to sleep. Even if you're smelly, you can become a beautiful flower. 4 out of 5. Next up is number 183, Marrill. Marrill. Also known as Pikablu. I remember it being announced as Pikablu in one of these weird Dutch Pokemon magazines, and I was like, oh, Pikablu, that's a cool name, I think. That's what I thought when I was young. It's a dumb name. Marrill is a tiny, mousy ball. It's blue. It has a round tail, and it has these zigzag thingies, and that can stretch really far. This round tail acts as a buoy, and it has oil in it, which is lighter than water, obviously, so it can always stay afloat. So if you ever see a blue ball in the water, that looks really... it could be a Marrill, is what I was trying to say. Marrill is a cutie. I think it's adorable. I like its evolution a little bit better, but let's just talk about that later. Here's a fun fact about Marrill. Its first design was a weird looking pink type of mousy Pokemon. Actually, it looks kind of cute, but it also looks like it comes straight out of a Kirby game. Or is that just me? Also a fun fact and kind of confusing about Marrill is that 75% of all Marrills are female, but 50% of all Azumarill are female. Here's what happens. If a female Marrill evolves, it has a 1 in 3 chance to become a male Marrill. Marrill can undergo sex change. Now that is progressive. Thank you, Pokemon. And just for that, Marrill gets 5 out of 5 for me, because it's just great. Next up is Azumarill, or as the Dex cast lovingly calls it, Azumarill. Azumarill is pretty much an egg with bunny ears, which I think is cute as hell. The bottom of Azumarill is white with like the bubbly things, and then the top is blue. And that is a thing that sharks also use in their camouflage. A funny fact about Azumarill is that when it goes into the water, it curls up its ears like that so that there doesn't get any water inside of them. How fucking cute is that? I love that. It's adorable. Here's a fun Pokédex fact about Azumarill from Pokemon Sapphire. Azumarill can make balloons out of air. It makes these balloons if it spots a drowning Pokemon. The air balloons enable the Pokemon in trouble to breathe. That's so cute. It can save Pokemon in need and they're drowning, and it's fucking great. I don't know if you've ever seen a shiny Azumarill, but it's gold. Now that, I mean, that just proves the value of Azumarill. It's a gold Pokemon. It's gold. 5 out of 5. Next up is Snorlax of the Johto region, Sudowoodo. Now Sudowoodo is in your way at some point near Goldenrod City and between Azalea Town and Goldenrod, I think. That's from the top of my head, I'm not quite sure in between which towns he is. A thing that always confused me when I was younger is that Sudowoodo is a tree. Well, it's not a tree, but it looks like a tree. And when I was younger and I didn't really understand things that well, I was pretty sure it was a grass Pokemon, so I kept using my fire Pokemon on it. Didn't do shit because Sudowoodo is a rock type. Could have known that because it actually like attacks you when you sprinkle it with water, which is not a thing that plants usually do because they like water. But you know, it confused the hell out of me. And now I get it, but I still don't. So because when I was younger, I didn't really read the Pokédex entries because I was stupid. Here's one from Gold, which would have explained everything to me if I had read it before, but I didn't. Although it always pretends to be a tree, its composition appears to be closer to a rock than a plant. Damn it, younger me. If only you had the internet. Sudowoodo is a Pokemon that's actually based on petrified wood, which is wood that has become petrified or fossilized over the years, which I think is kind of a cool idea for a Pokemon. Honestly, Johto has such good Pokemon designs. Is it just me, or because Johto is just great? Sudowoodo's name comes from pseudo, as in fake or false, and Woodo comes from wood, because wood and because it's a tree. But it's not a tree, it's a rock. 3 out of 5. Next up is Politoed, another one of these evolutions that just randomly happen. So Poliwhirl can evolve into either Politoed or Poliwrath. Now, this is confusing to me. As I said before, one of these mechanics I don't understand, but I think are great. Politoed is like a king of the frogs type of creature. Poliwhirl evolves into Politoed if you trade it while holding a king's rock, like an actual toad. Politoed loves to sing and bellow and be loud as fucking heck. Maybe that's what keeps me awake at night. Politoed, just shut the fuck up for a second. Politoed has a hair on the top of his head. I've been doing the finger thing a lot today. If the hair is bigger, it means it's more powerful and more kingly than if it's a tiny little hair curl. So, the more you know. Here's a fun Pokédex fact from Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. It gathers groups of others as their leader. Its cries make Poliwag obey. That's sad. Just leave the Poliwag alone. Let them have their own lives. Here's a fun German fact about Politoed. Politoed's German name is Quaxo, which comes from quaken, as in the sound frogs make, and ach so. Alright, Germany, just calm the hell down. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Jeez. Politoed is not one of them, not my favorite. I'm gonna go with like 3 out of 5. Is that? Yeah, 3 out of 5. Next up is 187, Hoppip. Now Hoppip is cute as heck. The entire Hoppip evolution line is kind of based on the dandelion. Now dandelion is a great word. Let me tell you something about dandelions. There once was a song in the Powerpuff Girls where they sang dandelions, and I was so sure that they were talking about lions that were dandy. I didn't know. I was a little Dutch girl. Just a little fact for you there. Hoppip is a cutie. It's really light and it can sense strong winds, and when it senses a strong wind, it gathers with other Hoppip and tangles like their leaves together so they make a string and they don't fly away in the wind and stuff, which is smart. Good job, Hoppip. 4 out of 5. Then Hoppip evolves into Skiploom, and Skiploom is like the flower stage of the dandelion. It has a yellow flower on its head, like a dandelion. A fun thing about Skiploom is that its flower opens and closes as the weather temperature fluctuates, and at 64 degrees Fahrenheit, what is that in normal language, in Celsius, is like 20. At that temperature, its flower blossoms and it becomes a beautiful flower. Skiploom is used as a thermometer quite often because of its temperature thingy. I don't really have that much to say about Skiploom. I'm not a big fan of Skiploom's design. That is a thing for me usually, like the second evolution in a 3 evolution line is always kind of meh for me. I don't know why, but you know, as I am completely unbiased while I record these videos, I'm just gonna give it a 3 out of 5 because you all feel that way, right? The last one for today is Jumpluff, which is the final stage of the Hoppip evolution line. It has now become one of those dandelions that you can blow on and make a wish, and it becomes a thing in nature, and then its seeds spread. You know, that's how dandelions work. I think Jumpluff is adorable. I've never really actually owned any of the Hoppip Pokemon. I've owned them, but I haven't used them in any type of battle ever in my life. Not sure why. Maybe because it looks weak? Is that it? I don't know. Like I said about the dandelions, when you blow on it, the spores get into the fields and it spreads. That is exactly what Jumpluff does. That's how it creates offspring. It just like blows his stuff into the sky. Here's a fun Pokédex fact about Jumpluff from Pokemon Emerald. Jumpluff ride warm southern winds to cross the sea and fly to foreign lands. This Pokemon lands when it encounters cold air while it's floating. It's an adventurer. I like it. Jumpluff for me is a 4 out of 5. Yeah. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, that's all I have to say for today. I will see you again next week, and check out my latest rating of the Pokemon video. Keep your eyes peeled on my channel because I'm gonna try to upload more than I usually do. So I hope that makes you happy. I wish you a really good day.